Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best ball mounts for your light, medium, and heavy duty towing applications. Before we start going through the ball mounts, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in line from here and just kind of swoop over there to go through all the different options we have pictured in front of us today. We have 14 different ball mounts. That's not even close to half of what we have on our website available. There's lots of different types available. What we're going to explain today is the different types that we have. We've got many different features for different ball mounts. Ultimately, what you're going to have to decide is what are you looking to get out of a ball mount and what are you going to be towing with it. That's going to ultimately land you on the best ball mount for your application. To start off here on our most simple designs, we have 4 options here. We're going to have the draw tight. This is just your standard little drawbar. What it's designed to do is you pick whatever size ball that you can find on our website, whether it's an 1 7/8, a 2 or a 2 5/16. You can pick whatever size you want and get it mounted directly to this. You can pick whatever size drop you want to. This is more for your simplistic, like it's the same trailer that you're towing and you don't need any height adjustments or anything like that, and you just want a simple ball mount. This is going to be a pretty good option. Moving up in the line, this one's a little bit of a step above this, except the only thing is you'll want to pick the size ball that you get on it before you purchase it, because these balls, they're going to come pre-torqued onto the ball mount itself, which is really nice because sometimes these balls can have a torque rating of over 200 foot-pounds. A lot of people don't have a torque wrench that can do that. That is going to be the eTrailer ball mount. Moving up a little bit further is going to be a tri-ball. This is a Tow Smart tri-ball. This is going to be a very, very nice entry level. You get every ball mount available. So if you're towing a lot of rental trailers, if you're borrowing trailers from people, you don't personally have your own trailer, maybe you do have your own trailer, but you like to borrow a wood splitter or maybe a couple of jet skis here and there, this is going to be a great option. I would say use this option more so if you are a lower height truck because it's a straight shank and it's going to line up with a lot more trailers. The last one we have here for our light duty or your entry level towing is going to be the Flint Hill Goods 8-position drop ball mount. This one is going to be essentially an upgraded version of your stationary ball mount. It's going to look almost identical to this ball mount, except you're going to be able to raise and lower it for whatever height trailers that you need. Out of these 4 options, depending on your need, I would go with either the eTrailer with a pre-mounted ball that's torqued already or the tri-ball. Now moving up into the next category, you're going to see quite a bit more features on these ball mounts than you did these. The biggest difference here is going to be the price point really, is that because you get all these other features, the price point is going to be pretty significantly different than we saw in that first category. But we'll go ahead and start out with the Patriot Hitches. This Patriot Hitch is going to be kind of unique out of all the ball mounts we're going to see today, because essentially what it's going to be is you insert this portion into your hitch receiver tube, and this is going to become your new hitch receiver tube. So instead of being a rise or drop ball mount, it's going to be a rise or drop hitch. So if you want to use it for bike racks or cargo carriers, or use your ball mount that you already have at home, that eTrailer ball mount we were talking about earlier, you can absolutely use this just like this, and it turns your normal ball mount into a drop ball mount just like that. The nice thing about this is that if you're hauling different accessories and you're wanting to have your cargo carrier either lower or higher to the ground, you can do that with this. You can't do that with any of these other ball mounts. So it's kind of in its own category in that sense that it has a little bit higher weight capacities, but you're going to be able to use it for different things and not just a ball mount. Next up is going to be the etrailer.com adjustable ball mount. This is a very, very good entry-level ball mount. You get the 2-inch ball and the 2 5/16, but this is a very nice coupler. It comes with the hitch pin to go into your hitch, obviously the pins to adjust the balls up and down, and this is a rise or drop application, much like a lot of our other options. But if you're wanting to get into a ball mount and you don't know for sure whether or not you're going to use the rise or drop feature all the time, this is a great one to get into. Get into it. If you decide you want a more high-end option, you can definitely make that decision later on once you've used it for a while. Next, we're going to move into our aluminum ball mount. We have lots of options for aluminum ball mounts on our website. We just went with the Kurt because at the time of this video, this is a newer ball mount. This is going to come with that same 2 different size ball, 2 5/16 and 2-inch. It is height adjustable. It's got 2 options for hitch pin holes, so if you want to slide it further into your hitch, you can do that with the closer hole here, or if you want it to stick out a little bit further, if you're having clearance issues or something like that, you can move it out. This one will also come with a hitch pin. It comes with the pin to raise and lower the ball mount itself. What I like about this is if you have a locking hitch pin in the shank itself, this ball mount, what you can do is you can pull this pin and this whole ball section here is going to slide right off of the end. So what you can do is if you're at a place where if you go to a sporting event or something like that, you don't want your ball mount sticking out, you just slide this right off the end, stick this in your vehicle, and this is the only thing hanging out in your truck. With this particular application, 9 times out of 10, the reason why somebody wants an aluminum ball mount is because they don't like rust that happened on their last ball mount, and they don't want a super heavy ball mount. Trust me, we're going to show you some today that are pretty hefty, but with this particular one, it's lightweight. You don't ever have to worry about rust, and they're just as equally as strong as the steel ones, just in aluminum housing. On to the last 2 in this category. They're both going to be B&W tow and stows. There's a couple differences between the 2 of them. This one is going to be your standard tri-ball. This one here is going to be designed for the multi-pro tailgate. For this particular one, it's going to have the 2 ball. So if you don't think you'll ever use an 1 7/8 ball, then I would say just go with the 2 ball. A lot of people like this because then they absolutely have no excuse why they couldn't tow a trailer, because I had this ball mount for quite some time and I absolutely loved it. The one time that I needed to pull a jet ski trailer, it ended up having an 1 7/8 ball on it, or a coupler on it, and I was able to tow it because I just turned it over to the 1 7/8 option and I was able to tow it down the road. You really hate to have it your very own ball mount just for the 1 7/8. That's why I really like the tri-ball. For the multi-pro, it's going to have a notch here on the back, and this here is designed to fit around the factory hitches that come on your GM trucks. So your Chevrolets and your GMCs. This is designed to slide over top of the hitch receiver, so the collar on the hitch will slide into here, and then when this ball mount is in a stowed position, you can drop your tailgate into that 2-step design. This is also going to rotate just like this other one in all of the tow and stows. What you'll do is you'll take those pins out, take this pin out. You have to make sure that this ball is sideways. So same with that. This one's actually in the configuration that it would need to be. But we'll take this out, pop that pin back in. Obviously this is in your truck the whole time. And when you rotate this up, everything is going to be behind this. And this is the only thing that you see on the face. So you don't have to worry about hitting your shin on it. If you're parking in your garage, you really don't want to stow this anywhere inside of your vehicle because they are pretty hefty. So if you're hitting your brakes a lot or taking off pretty quick or making turns, you'll hear this rolling around in your back seat. You don't have to do that with these. You just put the pins back, it stays just like this on your vehicle and you don't have to worry about it getting in your way. Now, out of all these options, the one that I would go with is going to be the B&W Tow and Stow Tri-Ball. If you have a GM truck that has multi-pro tailgate, obviously it would be this one. This one's also available in the Tri-Ball configuration. I just really like the idea of having every option you could possibly need on your ball mount. After all, that's why you're getting a drop ball mount to begin with, is because you're towing multiple trailers and you don't know what height you're going to need for every specific trailer, and you'd hate to have 4 or 5 ball mounts in the back of your truck. This one truly is like a one in everything ball mount that you can do a lot with. All of these ball mounts that we've talked about so far and the ones that we're going to talk about here in a little bit are also available in multiple shank sizes and multiple weight capacity. So don't think that just because this ball mount is in we put it in the intermediate level here, that you couldn't use it in a heavy application. It's just we see it more times than not in this particular application. Now on to some heavier options. The first one we're going to talk about here is going to be the BulletProof Hitches. It's a drop ball mount. It's just a simple drop ball mount. What I like about these is that they're going to have the 2 ball size again. This is a 2 5/16, a 2-inch. But I like these because they put a lot of thought into their gussets on the back, which are going to ultimately perform very well for the time to come. They're going to provide that extra support. All their welds on here are super, super clean. Their paint job is really cool. It's rugged. It's got a really rough finish. The one thing I will say is I've been using one. I've actually got it on my truck right now for quite some time. It's this same one, just a 2.5 inch shank here. And the one thing I will say is that the paint does wear off pretty fast on the ball. With that being said, I don't ever use any grease on the ball itself, so maybe that has something to do with it, but just something to be leery of if you decide to go with this particular ball mount, that may happen in the future. One particular thing I want to point out about BulletProof hitches is that they have a lot of accessories. Gen Y, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, they have some accessories too for their ball mount, but BulletProof, I've got to say, probably has the most accessories available for your ball mount. And you might be wondering, what kind of accessories could you use for a ball mount? Well, they've got hitch steps available. They have flag holders available, pull points like a D-ring you can put on here, weight distribution. You can put a block in here and then put your weight distribution hitch off of it. So it's just a lot of different things that you can do with this particular hitch mount, or this ball mount. What I like about it is that then you can grow with your ball mount itself, because you can see, as on my truck I have here, is I've got that little bit higher drop. It's the 8.5 inch drop, I believe. And what I can do is I can pick up a pull point later on if I want to and safely pull people out of a sticky situation. If I decide to ever get a travel trailer that I want to use weight distribution for, I can mount weight distribution directly to this, and I don't have to worry about picking up a separate ball mount. Like I said before, I had a B&W tow and stow before, and I really, really liked it. The only thing is that it rattled a little bit too much for my liking. That's why I ended up also going with the traction bar accessory, or the anti-rattle bars that BulletProof has available. Moving down the line, our Kurt Rebellion XD ball mount. This is going to be a shock absorbing ball mount. So we've talked about a lot of features on these ball mounts, but we have not yet had one that had shock absorption on it. And the way that's going to work is you will get the 2 ball with it. You'll get the 2 5/16 and the 2 inch. But the way that's going to work is you see this rubber bumper right in here. There's a bumper up here too, and this is your fulcrum point. What's going to happen is that when your trailer is hooked on here and you go over a bump or something like that, and whenever you feel that energy from the trailer transfer into the truck, that's doing a lot of damage over time to your hitch receiver on your truck, the suspension on your truck, the axle, all kinds of things. Everything involved in towing is going to be affected by that. This shock absorption is designed to help with that. So I will say, with any shock absorption, there's going to be a range for what it is actually useful, or when it's actually useful. So say, for example, I don't believe that this is the particular measurement for it, but the weight capacity, the tongue weight capacity on this particular ball mount is 1,500 pounds. So I will say, you're probably going to feel that shock absorption really kick in at about 400 to 500 pounds of tongue weight and on up. Because it's rated for 1,500 pounds, you are going to want to get into that like 30% tongue weight before you start feeling any of that, the benefit for this. If you're towing much lighter than that, then this rubber spring in here is way too stiff, and you're not going to feel any of the shock absorbing features. We've got a lot of gooseneck hitches and stuff like that that also have that same technology in it, and that's exactly how they work. So you want to be within, I'd say, anywhere between the 30 and 60% is really where this ball mount's going to shine with that shock absorption. Our next ball mount is going to kind of be a dual purpose ball mount. It will be a standard ball mount. Whenever you have this lever flipped up, you can lock it into place just like that and tow a normal trailer with the 2 5/16 coupler on it. But if you trip this lever down, you can slide a lunette ring for a trailer that you would normally have to use a pintle hook on. You can slide that lunette ring right over top of this ball, drop this hook, and now you can use it to pull trailers that have lunette rings on them. It's really a really nice ball mount when you're wanting to tow normal trailers on a regular basis, but then you also have a work trailer that has a lunette ring that you also need to tow. Now on to our Gen Y ball mount. They're going to do their drop hitch a little different than a lot of the ones we've talked about. And you'll see that we have our 3 what look like receiver tubes, and that's exactly what it is. One thing that a lot of people will kind of boast about this particular hitch is that they can use it for lots of different things. Just like that Patriot hitches we were talking about earlier, you can use it for bike racks, cargo carriers. If you need to drop your bike rack a little bit or raise it a little bit to get some more ground clearance, you can use this for that. But you'll also get the 2 5/16 ball, the 2-inch ball. But what I like about this is they're also going to have lots of accessories available for their ball mounts. This is their version of the pintle mount. You slide your pintle mount over here, and this little wedge here is going to keep it inside and locked on top of that ball. If you're not using it, all you do is take that, slide it back into the hitch, take your hitch pin, slide it back in, and this is going to operate just as a normal ball mount. I think I like this design a little bit more than this Kurt design, because otherwise this latch is just always hanging out here. Whereas this, if I really didn't plan on towing a pintle mount trailer or a trailer with a lunette ring very often, is you could just take this one out and stick it into your vehicle. The last option we're showing you today is absolutely going to be in its own category. It's completely different from anything that we've talked about, and that is going to be the Gen Y Boss. This is an absolutely massive, in a lot of cases, an unnecessary ball mount. This is very, very big. It's extremely heavy. I highly recommend 2 people to lift it when you put it into place or take it out of your hitch. But it is going to be the most extreme version of a shock absorbing ball mount that you can get out there. The drop face here with Gen Y ball mounts, you can get as high or as low as drop that you really want. They go all the way up to like a 15-inch drop or rise, all the way down to your single inlet ball mount. With this particular one, you're going to have 2 torsions, one on the top, one on the bottom, and this is going to be for your extremely heavy towing applications. This works really well. I see it a lot of times on the back of a dually truck, pulling a race trailer that's, you know, upwards of 20,000 pounds, but you've got some really valuable stuff on the inside of that trailer that you can't have the shock going into affecting that. The other thing is that this is going to help to protect those expensive trailers. If you have very, very heavy trailers, maybe you have a bulldozer or something like that on a trailer that's very valuable, that you don't want all of this shock from your truck hitting bumps and the trailer hitting bumps going into the trailer. This is designed to help to protect that with that shock absorption. Well guys, hopefully this video helped you decide which is the best ball mount for you. Ultimately, if I had to round it out with the best ball mount for me, that's going to be the B&W Tow and Stow ball mount.